Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy episode 230 for the week of October 6th, 2015. My name is Ryan Higgins. Who's here with me this week?
Brock Sager.
Toby.
And Charlie.
Toby, stop playing some.
Hold on.
And stop breaking all your Mickeys and pay attention to a podcast.
I am.
No, you're not. What's happening, guys? We're here this week. We got tons
I don't know
of...
if we were supposed to answer that or not.
Sure. Of course you can. I paused. No one answered, so I kept going.
Well, we already made you order like a bunch of stuff on the computer before the podcast. So.
Yes, Charlie, why don't you explain this? Because
You did order mine, though, right?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I'm very curious about this. I want to see this.
Toby's back to playing the game again.
Yeah, of course he is. I already used up all my life. So,
That's okay.
Why
So
don't-
what did you have Ryan order?
So in this most recent previews, they finally solicited the complete history of Doctor Who, that they're doing a series of hardback books that I thought was supposed to be 2 a month, but maybe it is 4. I don't remember. But I mean...
They may just be catching up here to the UK release.
Yeah, but the way this is working is they're kind of jumping around. Basically, the intention is to do a hardback book per sort of collection of the actual like episode stories, in terms of, from what I understand, a lot of making of material and that kind of stuff in each book. And by the time you're done, it will be a very, very nice hardcover collection on the side of your shelf, where they have sort of a color code at the top so you could tell which books cover which doctor, and then like a very nice image along the side of all the different doctors.
But these aren't like tiny things. This is like a 176-page hardcover.
Yeah.
And there's 4 stories per book, roughly.
It depends on the one. Like, if I recall, the 12th Doctor one only has like 2 stories, but then there's other ones that have 3 or 4.
But they're all like consistently sized hardcovers. So this is going to be a massive, massive collection when it's done.
Yes,
And
yes, it will.
so the first volume they're releasing is like episodes like 181 to 184, I think.
Yeah,
it said.
they're doing so the first 4 is going to be a Tennant, a Hartnell, a Pertwee, and a Capaldi. So, I mean, the way they're doing it is they're releasing the books out of order, but by the time they're done and covered all the stories, you would put them in the proper order on your shelf.
Yeah, I know.
Kind of like the Marvel Epic style.
Right, the Marvel Epics. Fantagraphics is doing that with all the Donald Duck books they're doing. They're doing them all in chronological, or they're doing them in order, but they're releasing them out of order. But at the end, they'll all be in order. So, yeah, it's impressive. I really am curious to see those books. I'm going to have to see if I have a spare shelf or 2.
I'm just going to have to put in a new shelf.
You need a TARDIS because you need more room for all your stuff.
Yes,
right?
yes, I do.
TARDIS. Speaking of TARDIS,
I need to build a TARDIS bookshelf that opens up just to display them.
that would be actually kind of cool.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Speaking of TARDIS, the Lego set is coming out December 1st.
Oh, yeah.
Officially, right?
Oh, man, I'm so excited.
I saw. Looks good.
Yes.
With Matt Smith.
Looks good.
But now I need Rose.
Well, it's
I need
Matt
Rose
Smith,
and Martha Jones.
Capaldi, Clara, and then
Weeping
there's
Angel,
Weeping Angel, Dalek.
2 Build-A-Daleks.
Yeah.
They don't count as minifigures, though.
But that's okay. What's going to end up happening is they'll have the exclusive K9 as part of Lego Dimensions that you'll have to buy that to go
did you buy
into
Lego
your
Dimensions?
TARDIS.
No, not yet.
I'm thinking about buying 2 of those sets just so I could build a bigger console set.
Not to turn
Yeah,
this into...
I wish it was a little bit larger just by default based on the
So
price.
by buying
but
2, you get the
that's
parts to
okay.
build a bigger one.
That's okay. I will pre-order it as soon as it's pre-orderable.
Or what you're saying is it's bigger on the inside. Not to turn this into Wonders in the Fourth Dimension, but
What? Too late now.
I will very briefly say, as a relatively, I wouldn't say big, but definitely a fan of Doctor Who, man, this season has been so much better than last season. Sorry, Charlie. Last season was not that good.
I do not disagree about this season being better
This
than
season
last
is
season
better.
so far.
Okay.
I still liked last season.
Sure,
but
that's fine. But this has been
holy
better.
crap, I'm liking the 2-parters so far. I like just how jazzed I get between the episodes and everything. And the cliffhanger this week, oh my god.
It's good stuff.
This is why I decided, Charlie, that I only come to your house every 2 weeks.
Yeah, then you watch the whole
So
story.
I just watch the whole thing altogether. That's why I didn't show up this Saturday.
Then you missed the like crazy, oh my God, that was so amazing.
Yeah, but
and then you spent a week going, oh my God, that was so amazing.
No, I won't miss it. I'll have it. It's just like, ooh, I just have to wait a minute or a second to continue on.
And then you'll go up to all your Doctor Who friends and they're like, that was like a week ago, dude.
That's fine. I only have you as my Doctor Who friend and a couple people at work and a couple people I talked online and a couple... Oh, actually, that's a lot.
And a bunch of people at the shop.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, I don't barely come here.
Let's talk about some comic book stuff.
New Iron Fist and Power Man.
Oh yeah, I didn't put that on here, but there's
Why not?
There's a new Power Man Iron Fist series.
I can't wait.
I mean, are any of those names big? Who's this artist? I don't even know.
I
him.
really like him. I got his sketchbook. I actually don't know what he's done before, but I picked up his sketchbook at one of the cons just because I walked by and really dug it, and now he's going to be the artist on it, so I'm really excited.
Do we have a name?
Yeah, Mr. Green. Sanford Green, I believe, is the name, right?
Yeah, there's a new Power Man, Iron Fist. Yeah, David Walker and Sanford Green. Makes sense because they're doing the Iron Fist and Power Man.
He got a real energetic feel to it, so I'm really, really looking forward to it.
I hope it's good.
The sketchbook I picked up of him was like this dude jumping over this fence, and you got like the entire city behind it. It was just like the cover looked so epic. I was like, I had to flip through it, and so I picked it up. And I'm super excited for this book.
Yeah, I mean, the art looks good. It's very...
Looks good. Looks fantastic, Ryan Higgins.
Okay.
Not like I quietly want to be on Secret Wars now.
Oh, jeez. I only know the cover. I haven't seen anything else. I've only seen the cover. It looks cool. So,
good. Yeah. You should order like 30 copies, not the 4 that you usually do in Toby books.
Well, I'll order 30 copies of the hip-hop cover because I'll sell a bunch of those.
Well, you already
the main book.
Those. You already sold those.
Yeah, the main book we'll see how many.
I probably can't get any.
I mean, I sold all our ones for this month.
So you won't even have any on the shelf?
Nope.
Oh,
nope,
I guess I won't have any.
all of them.
I'll go to another store. Thanks, Higgins.
You didn't tell me you wanted any.
I thought you were going to have some on the shelf. I was going to pick and
thought
choose.
I might have, too. Yeah. I don't.
All right.
Pre-order,
another store it is.
Pre-order comicsconspiracy.biz.
I don't want to commit to all of them.
What's that?
I don't want to commit to all of them.
No. It's fine. If you tell me what you want, I'll order them. That's how it works. Pre-order. Now. Always. Please. Or just tell me. Subscriptions are the best.
And then there's stuff like me who I just like look at the shipping this week and then go, I forgot I have to Ryan order that, and then I immediately have to ask him to order it.
And then he told me about it, and then I wanted a copy too.
And then Ryan looked at it, he's like,
Yeah, but instead Ryan just like ignored me for 10 minutes because he had to take Bryce's order instead.
I had to send Bryce a picture of all his hip-hop covers and all his new Marvel #1s from this week, which we'll talk about later in this episode.
Okay.
But first...
Wait, there's hip-hop covers already?
Yeah. This
Where?
They're all back here.
All right, see you guys later.
So we had some, besides Power Man Iron Fist, there was rumor of a potentially big upcoming series. Comics retailer Ryan Higgins at Comics Conspiracy in Sunnyvale, California. Not sure who this guy is, but
so I trumped your giant ass viral story with Iron Man. And,
that's fine.
And Iron Fist and Power Man.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I just have a list of stuff we were going to talk about here. So,
you're starting this one a little weak, man. We gotta have like drum roll.
Well, you threw me off my game. It's
one
fine.
random
it's
day,
fine.
Ryan Higgins decided to change the world.
Well, let me tell you the story. Let me start at the beginning of this. Monday morning, I get to work, and I come in, and there's a pile of mail on the floor, like there always is. And I pick up this pile of mail, and there's normal garbage and a couple things, and there's like a little postcard, and there was something I ordered from Amazon. I don't remember what the hell it was. And so all this shit's sitting there, so I started going through it. I'd put it off to the side and forget about it. But an hour or so after I open, I'm like, oh, yeah, that sack of mail. So I start going through it, and I'm like, there's a little postcard. And it's Iron Man and Falcon cap on the front, like kind of in a pose very similar to Cap and Iron Man during Civil War. I turn it over. It says, from your friends at Marvel, and there is a Roman numeral 2 there. That's the postcard. That's it.
And your name and your address because it was a postcard.
Oh, yeah. It was a recipe and everything like that. It was like handwritten.
I'm just setting up for future thingies that you're about to tell us.
Yeah.
Well, and this is what you showed me when I came in.
Yeah. So, this is, I don't remember what time, like noon or something like that. I was like, is this Civil War 2? Like, okay, they just announced Civil War 2 on a postcard? That's a little weird. So I'm like, well, I didn't hear anything about this. I'm going to go on Twitter, go look around. No, I don't see anything about this.
And that's an hour after you opened.
This is weird. So I take a picture of the front and back, showing it's official. It's from Marvel. It's not some weird thing I made up. And I'm like, is this Civil? Did he just announce Civil War 2? And within a minute, a couple of people replied to me being like, that's interesting. A few minutes later, I get a message from comicbook.com, and they're like, yeah, we're just going to bring up that on our page, okay? All right. Then about half an hour later, Bleeding Cool has it. And then after that, it's Comic Book Resources, Newsarama, CBR. Today was IGN. I got an email I got a message on Twitter from some Brazilian comic book movie and news website that interviewed me. Like, I can, IO9, comicbook.com, comicbookmovie.com. So
and the funny thing is, they're all referencing your picture.
It's all, because you can embed tweets.
Yeah.
So it's just an embedded copy of my tweet.
But no other retailer has posted this picture yet because they're all referencing your pictures. That's the funny thing.
Well, yeah,
your address is out there, multiplied, in YouTube videos.
Well, I guarantee you, at this point, they're just finding it on the other news site.
Yeah.
Spreading it that way.
I showed Toby. It
was Grace Randall from the Midtown, or not? Is it the New York comic book store one? See how she does these YouTube videos.
So my 500,000 subscriber YouTube video, all of a sudden, I'm like, oh hey, they're talking about me. Great, all right, that's interesting.
And then
so
your postcard address right up there.
I know.
That's awesome.
So I'm expecting Marvel's lawyer team, or Disney's lawyers to come crashing through the window anytime, but they haven't. So I don't know what this is. It's this was just a mass mailer thing. It wasn't a weirdly
Have any other stores said they got it too, or you're the only one?
No one said it. No one showed it.
Someone at Marvel loves you, man.
Maybe there's somebody on the inside at Marvel
that sent it to me a day early, a couple days. It's possible. I mean, I have no idea.
A couple days. This is probably a New York Comic Con thing.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. But a weird cryptic kind of. There's no text. There's nothing on this, right? Yeah. So it feels like this was purposefully sent out before everything. Maybe they figure
some guy at some local comic store will just tweet about it.
Oh, maybe they were thinking no one would. I mean, it wasn't a do not post this. Just comes in a secured binder or something, from FedEx.
Or you just be a scroll right now. We don't know it.
No, I'm
surprised it didn't get leaked by the post office. I mean, they could have seen it.
Exactly.
Well, they probably didn't understand it.
No, I mean, in general, it's really awesome that it's spreading as quickly as it is.
Well, it's cool that Brian is patient zero.
Pretty much at this point, any day now, we're going to see a official full story about it.
It'll be it has to be at New York Comic Con this weekend. There's unless if they're just not supposed to be sent out, because Marvel has declined to comment on all these articles. So it's well, apparently I announced Civil War II, so there you go.
It's pretty crazy.
Whether you want to,
So how does it feel being patient zero, man?
It's weird. I have to assume other stores got this.
Yeah, but but no one's everybody's using yours. It's so awesome.
Yeah, it's weird.
And I mean, my mentality on that, having worked at this store and another store, you'd be amazed at the amount of mail that just sort of sits there and piles up.
People don't even like it.
Nobody.
I read an article recently that you either have no unread emails in your inbox or thousands of unread emails in your inbox.
I'm in the 1,000 camps.
I am in a 0. I read every email within seconds of receiving it, assuming I'm at a computer. Mm-hmm. I see that little number tick up. I go, read, done, delete, file, sort, done. I do not have unread emails at all.
You must delete a lot of emails then.
I do.
I can't keep up anymore, so I just given up.
Yeah, so you're either one or the other. I must open mail immediately. Yeah. So.
No, I remember when Toby and I worked at Legends, there were times when you'd get the mailers for movie passes or something.
And it already
and they'd finally open it and be like, oh yeah, this was 2 weeks ago. And
Jesus. Yeah, I can't do that.
Hell yeah, I remember those times.
So, Civil War II, I think we all expected to do something for the movie. Yeah. I didn't know if we don't know. We don't know what it is. But
don't you wish you had embedded a link to buy digital copies of Civil War 1? Check out the original first.
Yeah. If I was smarter, I would have tweeted that instead. But, cool. I mean, if I got it accidentally or if they purposely sent it out, awesome. If not, then whatever. If no other retailer, if every other retailer just tossed it and I'm the one that posted it.
There has to be a Speedball fan at Marvel. I was like, that Ryan Higgins guy, I'm going to throw that dude a bone one day. One day out. And then this came along, they were like, oh, I'm going to ship this shit out.
The least we can do is a couple hundred more followers on his Twitter account, so that's fine. So, yeah, that was bizarre. It's been a bizarre 24 hours, just kind of finding myself in news stories randomly. But
when your wife is posting, "Oh, you're an internet celebrity now, huh?"
Oh yeah, she posted on Facebook. That was pretty funny. But yeah, So as far as the comic itself, I mean, it looks like Steve McNiven. I mean, we don't know, but that'd be appropriate because he did the original.
Hopefully, he's had 2 years to do it.
Well, yeah, but it has spring 2016 on the list, and it's the only other text it says other than the Roman numeral 2. And so this goes to another story. We have more delays. I think we talked about this last week, but Secret Wars getting pushed back. Oh, no, I think it was actually after we recorded last week. Secret Wars 7 has been pushed back to November 11th, and the release dates for 5, 6, and 7, if you extrapolate further out, puts 8 end of December and 9 early February. So there may be a Civil War 2 event launching directly after, March, April, May, sometime in that area, directly after Secret Wars finally ends. So hope you're not ready to...
After they figure out what reality is, they're just going to fight each other.
Just going to fight about it again,
Well, they're going to do a registration act for all the people from the different
from the other realities. There you go.
Which reality are you from?
They're doing this, and then they're going into the Civil War thing, but at that point, they're going to only be a few months into some of these new titles with stories and stuff.
Well, they've been back for 8 months with the start of the number ones. So,
yeah, but that the number ones still have to start up, get their footing, and
they'll be 7, 8 issues into those by the time they do this crossover.
Well, the ones that come out now, but the ones that come out closer to.
Yeah,
this isn't necessarily going to be a line-wide crossover.
We don't know what it is at all. We have no clue. This could be a novel. This could be a what if. This could be anything. I will almost guarantee
someone doing a good photo job and sending it to Ryan.
I will almost guarantee you it'll be a big line-wide crossover, but because they're not stupid, because that movie synergy, baby. But
that's why I assume they will have the main book to definitely go with the sort of movie synergy. But whether or not they're prepared to do we're 3 issues in and now we're doing a big line-wide event, or if it's going to be...
Who knows?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm totally going to start messing with you. I'm going to start sending you postcards with Old Man Logan and with just the letters 3 behind it.
Crisis on Infinite Earths 2.
No, it'll be like numbers way off, right? It'll be like Age Apocalypse 4.
That's funny. Charlie, you see that Crisis on Infinite Earths hardcover that came out today?
Yes,
it's very
I have
nice.
The absolute.
Yeah.
The absolute.
That comes out, yeah.
Does it have the Alex Ross cover, or is the original cover?
No, I think it's the Alex Ross cover.
It's Alex Ross.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah.
It's $50.
Yeah, it's a nice cover. Yeah,
nice deluxe hardcover.
I do have that other book, but I like this hardcover. So,
it's a beautiful looking hardcover, but it's a lot easier for me to resist stuff when I already have a nice hardcover treatment.
Yeah. So, Civil War 2. I'm assuming find out more in New York Comic Con this weekend. So next episode, I'm sure we'll have a lot more to say about this.
Next week, we're going to find out, at Comic Con. Well, as you guys all know, this Ryan Higgins guy, for all of us.
Am I being flown out to New York Comic Con on
a whim?
on Friday? Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be funny if you got flown out there and be like, well, you already announced it. You might as well announce it here, too.
That'd be awesome.
Someone at Marvel's like, please just stop talking bad about our books. That Bryce guy, we're all big fans of that Bryce guy.
Yeah, but he's dissenting. Apparently for Halloween, he's not going to do a Marvel character.
That would have been more hilarious if it was mailed to the shop, but addressed to Bryce.
Yeah, that would have been great. Yeah,
I don't know if he could have handled the amount of Twitter follower influx he would have gotten.
Bryce is part of a growing trend of parents dressing up with their kids as something their kids have no idea what they are. And he's dressing up his daughter as a Poison Ivy this year, so that's very nice. And whereas I am dressing up as a Disney character. I mean, it is a Disney character. Yeah. It's much closer to a Marvel character.
You're painting your face purple.
I'm going as Fear from Inside Out.
Your face purple.
No, I'm not painting my face.
Yeah, you are.
Leanne's going as Disgust, and I'm going as Fear.
And she's going to paint her face green.
She is not painting her face.
She says if you do it, she will do it.
I'm not going to do it.
No, but you have to.
No.
If you do it, she will do it.
I'm not painting my face.
No, you got to.
Okay, this is all Brock and I have been. This is all Brock and I have been hearing for like the past hour and a half.
It's because I haven't won yet. You won't hear the end of it till I win.
Let's talk about something bigger than Civil War 2.
That Bryce's kid is going to be Captain America.
What's bigger than Civil War II is Superman's dick, okay? Have you seen Superman's dick?
Have you seen Superman's dick lately? I mean, have you really seen it?
Okay.
Marvel's going to love you after this podcast.
There's a comic book. There's a comic book coming up that I am very, very excited for called Dark Knight 3, The Master Race.
I'm surprised you didn't get a postcard saying 3.
Written by Brian Azzarello, art by anyone but Frank Miller. Let's just go there. There's going to be all sorts of different people doing art in these mini comics that are attached to it. So you have the main book, but inside you're going to have these mini comics. There is the very first one is The Atom, and it is written and drawn by Frank Miller. And they showed the cover of this first mini comic, and it's not that it's bad, because this is like straight up like Mad Magazine, which is not an insult. This is absolutely 100% Mad Magazine, Super Duper Man, like Harvey Kurtzman, that's his name, I believe. Harvey Kurtzman is the artist, the old Mad Magazine artist. So this is not like this is a poor drawing, but this is supposed to be Superman, like like a real comic book, not like a Mad Magazine style parody thing. And it is so bad. It is so bad. I don't know what DC is thinking. Don't have Frank Miller draw anything on this, please. He's barely writing it. We all know this. He's not. Don't let him draw this. It's so fucking terrible. It's seriously one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. It's like I said, it's not that it's amateurish. It's just really terrible. Can anyone defend this cover? And Superman's got a giant dick.
I will tell you this. If they sent this picture on a postcard with 3 on the backside for you, you would have just thrown it away.
Yeah.
This is ugly.
Also, the Atom has a giant dick in it as well. I don't know why he draws these guys with these, like, I guess it's compensation for all the women with the huge breasts in comic books. So, but this cover, man, I really don't want.
Well, what's even funnier is nobody's mentioning the Ronald McDonald shoes.
The whole thing
Boots
is
that he looks like he has on.
It's just.
And then his legs are 2 different sizes.
It's just so bad.
Yeah, it looks like an underwear ad for Gap where you just see the junk just there.
It's not... I'm making fun of the junk. I'm talking about the character. This is terrible. I can't... I have no interest in seeing this art on anything. But I know people that like it. I know a couple of people that like it. But they say, like, oh, yeah, it looks like a crazy old Mad Magazine stuff. But I don't know. I don't understand. I don't... It's going to sell. At least the first issue will. I'll be very curious how this book does. I don't know.
Maybe
the cover image for this episode is totally just going to be Superman's dick. Like, there's no other way around it.
Zoom in on that.
Yeah, it's just going to be a close up of his crotch. Yeah.
The Man of Steel commentary is going to have a totally different.
I
have nothing against this. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't like it. I don't hate it. It's just there's been plenty of bad artwork in comic books before that I've hated far worse than this. So,
but this is on another level. Really,
it looks like a kid drew it.
I don't think it deserves all the hate. I don't like it personally. I'm not saying I like it. I was just
talking to the mic, Toby.
I just don't care enough, I guess.
It looks like an elementary school kid drew it, and an adult inked it.
I don't see. That's the thing. I don't think it does. I don't think it's amateurish. I think it's extremely stylized, and not a style that I like in the least bit.
It's one of two things, right? It's either Frank Miller not caring anymore, and it's quite possibly happening, or it's Frank Miller evolving into the next style that he's comfortable with and that he wants to do, right? So if that's what he wants to do, go for him. If DC's going to print it, that's not on Frank. Right? So,
true.
It's one or two ways for me, all right? So, I mean, Frank's been going from drawing kind of normal, traditional comic book style in Daredevil, going bigger, in Dark Knight, going even bigger in Sin City, and he just never stopped. He kept going and going and going, and this is probably what we're ending up with. So, if this is what he wants to draw and he's comfortable with, why not? If people are going to buy it, why not?
I mean, I can't argue with that, but it's I'm not saying he needs to do Daredevil style. I'm not saying he even needs to be Dark Knight style. But if you look at Dark Knight and you look at Dark Knight Strikes Again, the change is
they're distinct changes.
pretty dramatic, and it was not in a good way. I did not care for his art at all in that. I mean, the book
Eye of
sold
the
amazing.
Beholder, right? I mean, there's people that will like it. Eye of the Beholder.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Campbell. He changed his style quite a bit from the early Gen 13 style to what is now considered the Campbell look, right?
Yeah.
So if Frank is, evolving to this...
If this is like random indie guy doing a random indie book, sure, fine, totally fine.
Well, that's why I'm
Frank
saying
Miller
he doesn't really deserve to hate.
It doesn't deserve to hate, but it doesn't deserve to be on this book. That's what I'm saying. But this
Fair
Frank
enough.
Miller on this title, this is not Dark Knight. This is not Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that they're doing on the main title looks more like the Andy Cooper stuff looks more like Frank Miller than Frank Miller looks like Frank Miller.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
I know everyone will see Superman's dick when they download it.
I can't.
I don't really see it.
You look on it not on your phone. Look on it on a much bigger screen, and maybe you'll see
I large and quite big, all right? I don't know
that
how
giant,
much bigger.
the giant schlong that's just hanging out there. He's hanging.
Just weird folding on his like.
He's hanging to the right quite a bit there. Let's go on something.
Let's get off of Superman's dick.
Let's get on something that is up my alley, at least. I don't know about anyone else's.
God, it's so bad.
But Mark Waid and Chris Samney, the fantastic creative team of Daredevil, this last couple runs of Daredevil, has been announced to be doing the new Black Widow book for Marvel as part of the all-new, all-different Marvel.
Cool.
Very nice.
Very excited for that.
What happened to the old team?
On Daredevil? Or, on Black Widow? Oh,
Phil Noto and
yeah.
they're
Finished.
just done?
Yeah. I mean, everything switches up.
I really like that run, though.
Yeah, it was a great run.
I read most of it. I teetered off towards the end, but it was good with what I read.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'm still waiting for Marvel to be like, we have a good chunk of Daredevil and stuff we could throw in an omnibus.
Oh, there will
now.
absolutely will there be an omnibus. No question.
Yeah.
I need the...
But I just find it weird that, I can't think of any omnibuses of Wade material yet.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, you know what they should do? They should do the Captain America No Country as a Omni.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is there enough material for Omni, though? For that one? It was 12 issue, maybe?
Well, they did an omnibus of the Busick, or they've been doing a couple of them, of the Busick Perez Avengers stuff. I'm surprised they haven't done his Cap run or his Iron Man run. Because I think those deserve.
Yeah.
His Cap run, especially.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah. That was a classic run.
Yeah, the hero.
That was considered one of the best Cap stories before Brubaker came and took the title, snatched it from him.
The pre-Heroes Reborn stuff and then the Heroes Return stuff as well.
Yeah.
Both really, really good stuff. Yeah, I mean, he left that book kind of in a bad place, but it was a fantastic run.
So, again, where's my omnibus?
I'm sure they'll do it. All right, that's it for kind of the big news. But there was a couple other things we want to talk about. Since we're talking about Marvel and comic books specifically, I did want to talk really quickly here
About the new Marvel show?
The
Cleanup crew?
No. We'll talk about that in a few
Okay.
when we get to the TV movie stuff.
I'm jumping the gun. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. I want to talk to you about Ape as well, real quick.
Oh, yeah.
But I want to talk about real quick these Marvel books. So all the Marvel number ones start shipping this week. For the next 6 months, we're gonna have a ton of Marvel number ones.
For the next 6 months, we'll just have number ones.
Well, we will have many number ones, a couple a week for the next 6 months. Cool. So they're not doing it like New 52 where they're
barely any number twos because the orders got cut.
Well, we will have number twos as well, not as many. But I've had a lot of people ask if we are going to be talking about these number ones. And absolutely, the problem is the way we record the podcast, we probably won't be talking about what we really think of them till next week. But I do want to try most weeks to briefly mention what is coming out this week.
Whether or not we're looking forward to it.
And real quick, kind of...
Starts tomorrow or starts next week?
Starts tomorrow, yeah.
Oh, so we're already missing the boat.
No, well, I got the issues right here. So, real quick, the 4 from this week, and we can go over this, and then we can discuss these in a little bit more length next week. Amazing Spider-Man number 1 by Dan Slott, and I'm terrible at the guy's name.
That's the dude, Brereton?
Kemu Coley.
Oh, I don't know. It looks like a Brereton cover, doesn't it?
Oh, that's Alex Ross.
Let me see.
That's Alex Ross.
Yeah. It's the least Alex Ross cover ever.
Yeah, we talked about it in length.
Yes, before. We should have one of those little things that says check episode blah blah.
Yeah. So there's also Contest of Champions by Al Ewing and was it Paco Medina?
Paco Medina?
And yeah, his art's great.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah.
Paco Medina is awesome.
I'm curious about this book. I wasn't too hyped, but flipping through, it's interesting. I'm really curious what they're going to do with this.
Dude, the interior on the Spidey book is not bad.
Yeah,
It's just the cover.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the cover's Alex Ross, and it's not great. So, I mean, they're really putting pretty much some of their best feet forward here, because Spidey's obviously going to be huge. But these next two are definitely going to be some of the biggest books by Marvel on this all-new, all-different relaunch. That's Doctor Strange #1 by Jason Aaron and Chris Picciolo. At least for myself, one of my highest...
That's one of the top... need to read that Doctor Strange.
Yeah, it looks amazing. This is the book Chris Picciolo is meant to draw.
Yeah.
It's a perfect fit for him. Very excited for that. I really am curious to see more. So, for me, we're kind of 4 out of 4 for this week. I would have recommended at least giving them all a check, because number 4 is Invincible Iron Man by Brian Michael Bendis and David Marquez. Last page is going to maybe cause some people to care. I don't know. But really nice cover stock on that issue, too.
It's the only one that has that nice cover stock.
Yeah. Cool first issue. It looks pretty good. This is one of those weeks where I would say, personally, I would grab all 4 of these if you're a Marvel fan. There's going to be some that are going to be better than others, but I think they're really trying to put their best foot forward with these. Tons of variant covers, tons of specials, party variants, all this sort of stuff. So if you're into that, there's a lot to read. We have a question about,
$6.
do we wish that it was like the New 52 when everything came out? And part of me does, but the way Marvel does other variants, it's like there's almost like 20 or 30 books coming out, even though there's only 4. Because the variants sell almost as like different titles. So, I mean...
not to mention that this week they also unloaded 4 Star Wars books on you.
There's 4 Star Wars books. Secret Wars #6. There's 3 or 4 more of the Secret Wars crossovers. There's a lot of shit this week for Marvel. Not to mention you have Paper Girls, the new book by Brian K. Vaughan, as well as the last issue, or the new issue, I guess, of We Stand on Guard.
Yeah.
Plutona, the new Jeff Lemire title. Batman and Robin Eternal starts this week. This all the Marvel Star Wars trades start shipping this week. New Walking Dead compendium. There's just a fucking boatload of trades this week. Everything. So huge comic week. Get down to your local comic shop. We got to pay some bills. So
it looks
it's ridiculous.
It looks like it's gonna run you $20 just for these 4 books.
Yeah, I mean, they're oversized. They're all big issues. It's definitely worth it. But
the funniest, it's like there's like 2 or $5.99. Like the cheapest one is the Iron Man. It's $3.99. The rest of them are $4.99, or Amazing is $6.99 or $5.99.
Yeah, but as Ryan said, they're essentially double issues on a lot of them. I mean,
But money-wise,
you get through half the book, and then you get to the end of the first story, and then you get the other half of the book.
So which ones are you guys looking forward to this week? All of them? None of them? Some of them?
I'm most curious about Spider-Man, just because that seems like there's a lot of changes going on there. I'm most excited about Doctor Strange, and I'm kind of indifferent about Iron Man. I'm not sure what I'm going to think of it.
Iron Man is tough for Marvel because they've really been trying to push him. He should be like one of their biggest characters, but he just, in the comics, it's kind of like the way he's always been. He's just not. So they're pushing. I mean, putting Bendis on is like surefire #1 way to get that book to sell. So I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's Doctor Strange top of the list. I mean, that's the one you have to buy this week. Spider-Man, I'll check it out. It's Slott doing Spider-Man, so it's been consistent.
Yes, that's been great.
Contest of Champions, art looks pretty cool. I'll see what the premise is, but that's kind of for me, that's the unknown for the week.
Yeah.
I just found it funny when you get to the back of the issue and it's like, and now go play the Conquest of Champions game.
But I think the Invincible Iron Man has potential, especially with Bendis' track record on single character titles.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to read his Daredevil stuff yet, but I heard it's a great run.
Oh yeah, his Daredevil stuff was fantastic. I mean,
Bendis, Alex Maleev was fantastic.
So it's like that one. The Iron Man. I'm kind of just really looking forward to seeing Bendis on a single character again.
Oh, Toby got to the last page of Iron Man. No spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers.
They got spoiled around the internet like last week.
Oh, yeah. Well, because retailers got sent a preview book, which I didn't get for some reason. There you go. Maybe that's why I got the card.
Because you got the postcard.
Yeah.
They threw you a bone.
Yeah, they did. So, some good books this week from Marvel. Definitely check those guys out.
Yeah, so next Tuesday we'll give our little kind of spiel on the 4.
I was so bummed about the cover on the Spider-Man, man.
It's not Alex.
It's weird.
It's not his best work.
I just wish it
doesn't look like Alex Ross, does it?
Just had the interior guy do a cover. It would have looked like a classic.
They did. It was a variant.
Yeah, it just doesn't look like Alex Ross.
Oh man, the interior looks so good. Actually,
Charlie, did you buy it?
I'm quite.
Not yet.
Do you want to?
Undecided.
Yeah, that's when you know it's bad Alex Ross artwork, when Charlie's like, I don't know if I want to buy it. Because when Alex Ross was doing those Star Wars covers, you were like, oh yeah, give it to me.
Well, I got kind of messed up on there because I kept wanting them to go to multiple printings because they had the better cover on the multiple printings.
Toby, Ape.
Yes.
Alternative Press Expo.
Well, I don't know if I'm the right person to talk about it because I was stuck doing other stuff at home.
But you actually got to go.
Yeah.
Briefly.
Very briefly. Well, I guess brief as you can be.
I don't think you missed much.
That's what I hear, too.
So Alternative Press Expo, also known as Ape, started in San Jose many years ago. 20 years ago, right? I think this was his 20th anniversary. It was run by Slave Labor Graphics. Sold to Comic-Con International and moved up to San Francisco to become Ape in San Francisco. Got huge comparatively for Ape. I mean, it's not WonderCon, it's not Comic-Con, but it's much bigger.
Yes.
And then I stopped going a few years ago because I felt it just sort of was the same thing every year. They had some big indie creators, but I felt like
Pretty
there's like
the
same stuff every year, right?
Yeah.
I know the last couple of years in San Francisco, they had started to bring in more fan art, more art books, more typical kind of artist alley stuff.
Yeah, and some
a little bit
crafts and some arts and crafts.
Yeah, arts and crafts. Yeah. Because honestly, the independent comic scene is kind of going away.
Yeah,
you're either part of IDW, Image, Oni, Boom, and those guys are not at this place. This is for like sole creator-owned
or
titles.
you're just online these days.
And that's the other thing.
Yeah.
No one's doing traditional. Very few people are doing traditional indie comics. It's all web comics. Right?
And I have to say, when I do my quick walk around, I actually do try and give to people that are actually doing a comic book a little more time. Just because I'm like, they put in the time to actually build a story as opposed to just put a couple of prints out.
I think there's so few of them, though.
It's very few. No, but that's why I try to give them a little more, time just to look at it and listen to their spiel at least. You know. Yeah. So they moved back. So they Comic-Con sold it back. Maybe they saw the writing on the wall. Maybe they just wanted to get out of it. I don't know. But they sold it back to Dan Vado, the original owner. He brought it back to San Jose for its 20th anniversary, and I heard it was bad. I don't think it was bad. It was just poorly attended, probably.
But that's bad.
Yeah, but then I don't know, because Dan wasn't able to get the Facebook group, which I thought was kind of messed up. Comic-Con wasn't willing to give it up.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, if you go to the Comic-Con site, you still see Ape logo on there. So everybody that goes to Ape clicks on it, and there's just no information on it. You actually have to actively go on site and go for alternativepressexpo.com is how you get the actual information. If you actually just type it into Google, you still get the Comic-Con site. So I think a lot of things is very unfair to what happened to Dan.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And so the Facebook group and like the Facebook page and all that, that's all goes to Comic-Con?
That's still Comic-Con, yeah. And they weren't willing to give it up.
Really?
Is what I heard from an insider, yes.
Okay, that's interesting.
And I thought that was very unfairly done.
Yeah.
And it might just be some dudes at Comic-Con being too lazy to deal with it. It's quite possible. It might not be ill-willed, right? It might just be someone just didn't want to take off the link on their site and give up the I don't know if it's done on purposely like that, right? I don't want to say Comic-Con is out there to F Dan and the but I'm just saying that maybe there's a couple of lazy people. I don't know. I just thought it was very unfair.
I didn't know any of that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because it was. I mean, I went to every single Ape when it was in San Jose, except for I missed like the first one. But I went to the vast majority in San Jose, and I went to a good number in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And it definitely was changing, but I felt like I got a little bored with it, and so I didn't go the last maybe 3 or 4 years it was in San Francisco.
And I've told you numerous times, if you've been a couple of times, you kind of walk the whole thing in an hour, hour and a half. You've already kind of seen half of it, right?
Right.
Then you kind of look for the ones you haven't seen.
All right. So the people that I know that I saw that were going to this one, it was very much, and I knew some people that were there as that had booths and stuff, so I feel really bad, but. Yeah, I heard it was extremely poorly attended.
Yeah.
Because it was in the Big Blue Tent,
Yes.
which is the shitty part of the convention center
Yeah.
for people in San Jose.
They
They know what
filled it
it
up,
is.
though. I have to say, I never seen it that full. I mean, it had a
stuff?
lot of exhibitors. Yeah, a lot of
Okay.
people, right? Yeah.
Just no one.
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't there during the day. He said Saturday was pretty bad. My buddy said Saturday was pretty bad. Sunday was a little better, but it was a hard one. Yeah.
Sunday was better?
Yeah.
'Cause the pictures I saw Sunday were...
No, well, for him, Sunday was definitely better. He says a lot more foot traffic and so on.
Huh.
And yeah, for him, Sunday was better.
I did read an attendee said that it appeared, to them at least, that people that had been there on Saturday, a lot of people just didn't even show up on Sunday for some of the attendees.
I could see that. No,
or,
I mean,
for some of the vendors and booth
the
people.
booth said you didn't come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... I really wanted to go there on Saturday. I wasn't able to make it. And on Sunday, since I promised a couple of friends had tables there that I would make it, I really had to go make it. Sadly, I didn't make it there till like half an hour before it closed, so I kind of did one of those dash and look. So I kind of looked just at the booths and that. I just I had to just dash through all the aisles, and then I spent some time with my friends that had tables there. But there was a lot of empty tables though. But I mean, even though it was very full of people, as in exhibitor-wise, there was quite a few empty tables though. Yeah. But, again, I mean, Dan, if he had to build this from ground up to restart it
Again.
almost, kind of like build it back up, build it, and fight people to not go to, get the information from the wrong sites, that's hard to do. So
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's really messed up. I feel bad.
Yeah. So, but no, I mean, it's what it is. My friend Nate went on Saturday, when I couldn't go, and he kind of texted me because he's sort of the same old. So I'm kind of like, all right. So at least I know what's up. So on Sunday, I knew that I just got to make it there just to go say hello. Yeah.
Well, I know Ape's been running for a long time. I hope it sticks around. The alternative comic scene is so different than it used to be.
Yeah.
And I think a place like San Francisco is the perfect place for it. I don't know.
I think so too. So it's kind of funny. So I was talking to Maria, the girl that works at Nickelodeon. She was there, and she was like, "I'm kind of hoping it goes back to San Francisco."
Yeah.
Which is it's kind of hard for a guy like me to hear, even though that's probably where it should be, right? But for a guy that's San Jose. Likes the stuff to come back. Also my buddy Dan, who worked with me at Legends many years ago, he also even though it probably does better in San Francisco, for dudes like us that kind of spend a lot of our youth here, it's kind of nice to get one of these pieces back where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, definitely.
But, money speaks louder than words, and where it should be is probably San Francisco, right? So,
well, they managed, Fandom has managed to become absolutely huge down here. Huge.
But that's a different scene, though.
No, well, right, but where I'm going with this is, Ape probably should be in San Francisco.
Yeah.
The question comes with, Big Wow, again, the first year that it was Big Wow. I mean, it had been a few other things. It kind of
Big Wow has been growing. I have to give him props.
Well,
they've just been growing the right speed and the right way.
It's been about 4 or 5 years now where it's been Big Wow just by itself. Yeah. The first year, there were more vendors there on Sunday than there were attendees.
Wow.
And now...
Wait, back when it was SuperCon?
No, back when it was just the very first year of Big Wow.
Okay.
When it was actually in the convention center.
Yeah.
To this last year, they were just shy of 10,000 guests.
Yeah.
That's huge growth, right? So it's possible. So it's...
No, but Big Wow's is a whole different market, though. I mean, you're talking about traditional superheroes where, this town's full of nerds, right?
But...
You want to get more artistic, you do want to get the San Francisco crowd, though.
But look at Wizard World. Everyone that I know that went to Wizard World said it was terrible.
Yeah, it was overpriced and
way overpriced. Nobody went.
Nobody went.
I'm very excited for Heroes and Villains, which is Stephen Amell from Arrow. That's his part of his thing coming up here in a month and a bit.
Yeah.
I'm curious about that.
I'm real curious about that too.
Yeah.
Because I know some of those guys went to recruit over at Ape actually.
Okay.
So I'm kind of like, why aren't they just recruiting in general? I mean, just
and then what I'm really curious about though is next year I got the info for the tables for
Silicon Valley.
Silicon.
We will not be having a booth there. Let's just put it that way.
Really?
We will not be having a booth there.
They're that expensive?
We will not be having a booth there.
Oh, fuck.
We were getting the basically every time it's gone up, and this went up even more. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well,
so maybe
we'll probably still do Big Wow though.
If they do,
because that's still separate.
When the traditional Big Wow happens, assuming the prices are not also increased dramatically, because again, I don't have con stock as I call it. I don't have stuff to bring to cons. I bring a bunch of garbage and just give out flyers.
What you need to do is have Bryce in a bikini, then you'll be fine. People will come.
There is a limit.
You need to run some panels and all that. And
now
that'd be. Them to,
I would love to run panels. I would love to have like a panel of like our podcast panel or something like that. I would love that.
You probably could host a panel, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You could do what the fucking Hardwick is doing in a heartbeat, dude. Fuck Hardwick.
Am I the new Midnight?
Ryan Higgins do it. You already fucking announced Civil War II. You might as well run panels at this point.
Call it at 12:30. But I'm very hopeful for the South Bay scene. I would love it to be big. We've got a big and an absolutely huge convention in this area. Yeah. So I want to see these other ones keep growing. So hopefully
I have to be honest. I had a really bad feeling about Wizard World, and that's why I kind of stayed away from there.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know what told me or why I felt that way, and I'm still a little bit worried about AeroCon, Heroes and Villains.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's just going to be people trying to get autographs and barely any vendors.
It's tough if it's a bunch of people just standing in lines.
Yeah, so I'm a little fearful if that's the case. Like, everybody just goes to see the celebrities, and everybody just stands in line all day long.
Given the fact they keep adding celebrities, yet there's still very little about the vendors, I think they will get the vendors, but
hopefully.
I think it's going to be a last-minute scramble, which might lead to some good bargains.
It's possible.
And that's, like, for me, almost what you want at this point, just because they really need people to take up space and man tables and that kind of stuff. You will get good bargains to get in there. And
these celebrity conventions, it's tough.
Do we know anybody who went to that Walker Stalker Con? Because it is half the same people as running this one.
I know people that went, but I didn't hear.
Like, I'm real curious how that went, because that probably is a good, indicator of how AeroCon is going to be.
Well, one of my guys that went to Wizard World specifically to buy books. He wasn't there for autographs.
Yeah,
he was there to buy comics.
Wizard World though. Walker Soccer Con is the same people.
Yeah, I know. But he was saying there was like 6 vendors there or something with comics. Yeah. So I'm assuming Walker Stalker was.
The vendors are kind of boring too, right? I mean, you're the kind of guy that's like, I gotta go to the cons and I could buy everything at a store. Why would I go see vendors, right? Yeah. So it's give and take too.
Yeah. No, what I'm hoping for the Heroes and Villains Fan Fest as much
giant
as
obstacle courses, because that's what they're teasing and haven't told me anything yet.
No, what I'm hoping for that particular convention is actually to see if it. Because one thing that's sort of been drilled into me in terms of conventions is the idea of they want to sort of sell out the convention or whatnot, but if you really want the city to throw its support around it, you have to get people traveling in, fill up the hotels, and I think that particular convention, because of let's face it, it's very much here's half the cast of Arrow, here's a couple people from Flash, and now they've added people from Once Upon a Time and Karen Gillan and
dude, if they have Matt Smith coming, dude, I'll do a spiral.
So I totally think they have the people that literally people, when they see that this stuff is still available, will travel for and will get hotels for.
Well, based on the guest list, this is a red hot con. I mean, based on the guest list, if Comic-Con had this guest list, this is a huge guest list. So by any means, this probably should be a huge con. It's just there's no other information about it. It's really bizarre.
But it's the kind of thing where Emerald City tends to have a very impressive celebrity guest list, and even that never has this level of concentration.
Yeah.
So I expect that regardless of what you want to say in terms of vendors and that kind of stuff,
Emerald City has the best known
huge.
Artist Alley thing, though. All the artists love Artist Alley at the Emerald Con.
And I'm hoping that basically what ends up happening with this is they get all their money and stuff from the celebrities and stuff, so they can give people for Artist Alley a break and vendors a break and that stuff.
That'd be great.
I love it.
Yeah. Leanne's friend, by the way, was there at 8.
Yeah, Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said it was pretty quiet. So, but they may be doing. I want to say they looked into doing Heroes and Villains. I'm not sure if they heard back.
Oh, I got the form if they want it. I have the prices.
Let me know. Yeah.
I just forwarded it to you.
Yeah, forward it to you. We'll talk after the show.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious about that. I think I'm going to do the Groupon and get that $100 VIP pass.
Oh, you are? Yeah,
for
yeah,
the front of line stuff.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I haven't decided.
Yeah.
But I think I might.
If you do,
I have
just
a
put my
think so,
Patreon
too.
money towards it.
I think so too.
You're paying for my ticket? Awesome. Yeah, we'll see.
I think so too, but I have a friend already is saying that he's going to give me a ticket. So, but,
oh, really?
But yeah, I don't know. I'm torn.
We'll see.
So, yeah.
But I'm curious.
Because if the VIP lines is going to be the normal line, and then if you buy a normal ticket, you're just going to be behind the line.
Yeah.
That would be like the worst con to ever go to.
That's why I'm worried about these things.
Yeah.
I'm not big on...
Obstacle courses, man. Come on, Ryan Higgins, run with me.
I'm just saying, someone needs to get Stephen Amell to come and do our podcast.
So, we'll try with that, too. Let's move on to some TV stuff here.
Because we need to get his secret origin.
TV and movies. Ooh. There was a comic book came out in the early 90s. I don't think it was. Was it very late 80s? I can't remember. It's a comic from Marvel called Damage Control. Mm-hmm. It was kind of a comedy book. It was about the group of people that go and clean up the city after the superheroes go and...
Which has been a big topic on this podcast.
Cleaning up the city.
Maybe not that directly, but the damage has been a big topic.
Yeah.
Damage Control's popped up. I think it was late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, I think it was very, very late 80s.
Because there was a couple of series, and then they stopped doing it, and then it popped up again after Planet Hulk, or World War Hulk.
They would show...
popped up again.
Yeah, they would show up from time to time. Looks like 1989 was the last issue. It was the first appearance, yeah. Okay. So it was actually co-created by... sorry, it's lost my concentration here. It's co-created by Dwayne McDuffie, who unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago. So it's interesting, though, that Marvel is now apparently signing these guys to... or signing this comic, I should say. I guess they're not signing it. It's their own thing. They can do whatever they want. They are going to take this comic and make a TV show based out of it. This comes very shortly after DC announced a very similar project. Warner Brothers announced an upcoming TV show basically about the non-powered people of the DC TV, WB universe. So, did I say WB? CW universe.
Yeah. Okay.
Not the movie universe, the TV show universe. So, Damage Control, that could be cool if it's funny, half an hour comedy or something like that. I'm curious. I'm sure I'll watch everything.
I think it'd be a great kind of recap show for like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., for the movies.
Just something different.
I don't want a recap show, man.
Not
fucking shit as slow as it is.
No, not a recap show like that. Like a recap show of, oh shit, look at all the crap that happened in this. But like you said, a comedy where
I hope it's a little
funny.
fuller than that.
No, it'd have its own thing going on. So I'm definitely curious about that. I do want to talk. I honestly had no intention of talking about Gotham 3 weeks in a row, especially after last season. But I want to talk about Gotham for the third week in a row.
Spoil away.
Who watched it?
I actually watched it this time just because I figured
I did.
Charlie
third
sensed
time's
it.
the charm.
Charlie sensed it. No. See, last week I decided to go to Charlie's house to watch some TV at his place. I don't know why I did it at his place, but after I left home, he was like, I better have to figure out a way to watch Gotham before we do the podcast. I sense that Ryan will want to talk about it. I'm like, you know what? Good call. Because last night about 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., I'm like, I better watch that Gotham because fucking Higgins will want to talk about it.
Did you guys both watch it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, I didn't get a chance.
You'll get around to it. I mean, again, I'll keep spoilers as light as I can.
Yeah, you can spoil away. It's okay.
Okay. So, Rise of the Villains, right, is what they're calling the season?
Yeah, that's this season.
When they went to start up with this, and there was talk of them bringing in that kid Jerome, who was kind of led people believe he was kind of the origin of the Joker in the first season. I was like, this kid again.
No, but you were dead on with your commentary on how well he did in episode 2.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. So watching the first episode of here, even then I was like, okay. We talked briefly about, I thought, it seems like him and Barbara are having some weird sort of like reverse Joker Harley thing going on. So then the second episode came on, which we talked about last week, which is like, nope, he's just full on the Joker. And this kid, Cameron Monaghan is his name. Any doubt I had in that first episode, and then maybe some, questioning in this first episode of the second season, went away last week's episode. And then this week's episode happened. I wonder if the large majority of the cast and crew of Gotham went, oh, fuck. We really screwed up because this guy is an amazing Joker. Mm-hmm. And the twist with this episode is he's not the Joker.
Nope.
There's always ways they can change this down the road. I
hope they change in the first 5 minutes in next week's episode.
So I won't spoil the episode, but he gets killed at the very end of it, right?
Except for he just...
but no, I won't spoil the elements in between.
I hear you.
Which is like, the money shot is, he gets killed at the end of the episode, like looks dead on like the Joker. He's basically bleeding out. He gets very pale. The blood like pools around his lips. He's got like the big smile coming out his cheeks and everything like that. And the implication is that he was cursed, basically, that he would kind of cause chaos.
He'll inspire
or
other people.
Inspire chaos, forever. Kind of like his death cursed Gotham. And you see all these people that kind of become like, all these people sort of almost become the Joker at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
They all start kind of laughing for no reason, and one of them ends up like stabbing some hobo and like stabbing his buddy for no reason, and like kind of just becoming crazy. So I'm sure this was always the plan. And the implication seems to be, whoever becomes the Joker is either inspired by this guy or part of this sort of like this curse that is going to, Gotham will just keep making the Joker or something. Mm-hmm. I don't know how exactly they're playing this off, but I guarantee you there's people that are like, we have to find a Lazarus pit. We got to do something to bring this guy back, because holy crap. This third episode, he is on that Mount Rushmore of Jokers.
And Barbara looked very much like Harley in this one.
Very much. This kid is amazing, and I take back every bad thing I said about him in the first season. This kid is fucking credible. I was blown away.
Well, unlike you, I actually loved him in the first season, and I thought that was like the only episode I actually loved in the first season. I hated the first season. I really liked his episode.
So, overall, I think they did a very, very good job of utilizing him in the way where it's like, he could do a Joker. But at the same time, I'm always kind of like, I don't want a definitive origin for the Joker. I agree. But I
would have taken it if that meant this guy was going to be the Joker, because he is so good.
Well, you talked about the whole idea of they could still turn it on his head and find the real Jerome.
Sure.
Kill. And like, if they had done that, if they had like done some weird kind of twist that like,
I was kind of
this insane guy came in and took this guy's place, and then
that we don't know that insane guy's background. I would have loved that. Yeah, but then they went back to his dad this episode. Yeah. I'm like, no, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Based on his origin and everything, going back to his dad, I liked a lot of the interaction there.
The interaction was good.
The main thing that amazes me about this kid and playing the Joker is how on like just how quickly he can channel different Jokers on just like super quick turn. Like it's okay. There's Heath. There's Mark. There's back to Heath.
He just bounced back and forth between them. And did you guys also notice that? Did the plot of this episode seem very much like the plot of Batman Returns to you?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, kind of setting him up, mayor, kind of taking control. Okay.
Dark Knight Returns.
No, Batman Returns, the second one with the Penguin and Christopher Walken. The guy was like the guy that
Holy shit! I kind of forgot about Christopher Walken.
The guy that we think is like the Court of Owls guy.
Yeah,
he's like he comes off like Christopher Walken.
Yeah,
in Batman Returns.
Yeah,
that's one part that bothered me a little. Is when the guy's trying to play the hero.
He was so corny.
Comes off as though he's
exactly like Christopher Walken in Batman Returns. That's what I'm saying.
But
no, Dad, save yourself. No, son, I'm gonna save you from the Batman.
No,
like he totally is like.
I totally get what you're saying about playing it that way.
Yeah,
but
it was very cheesy,
kind
but
of
it was
performance
great.
Doesn't necessarily work in Gotham. Like, as somebody watching it,
there's lots of cheesy shit.
Like,
there's a lot of cheesy shit in this show. It worked perfectly fine with me. It was
for me when you're sitting there watching his performance.
Who are you?
I'd be sitting,
I don't remember his name.
I'd be sitting back going like, "Wow, this guy's basically shitty at pretending that he's this hero and doesn't come off as though."
All right.
Like, it would be one of those things where everybody should be instantly being like, there's something not quite right about this. There's
Yeah. No, I totally agree. But if you didn't think about it, go rewatch that episode and think about Batman Returns, and suddenly it's like, oh, hey, this is just a plot of Batman Returns. Just kind of twisted a little bit. But
with a fantastic Joker mixed in.
Yeah.
Well,
incredible. This kid.
I'm seriously not joking that they need to bring him back next 5 minutes, because otherwise I'll probably have no reason to watch the show.
Well, you know what they should just do? They can just, when they introduce the Joker, just have him be the same guy, but just don't acknowledge it. Just, it's the same actor, but just don't say that he's German. Just be like, I don't know. I'm just some kid.
I don't even mind if they're bringing him back and just don't explain how he came.
Right, sure.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Because this guy was... I can't tell you how good this guy was.
I would love it if we get sort of the whole Red Hood thing, never see his face, and then someday you just suddenly have the green hair, pale skin, no explanation. That would work for me.
Now, I'm bummed that this ended this way, because I was so excited this season because of him. Now they took the most interesting part away from the show in my mind.
Well, Mr. Freeze is supposed to be in this season as well, Court of Owls, and I'm very curious of that stuff. And
after this kid's performance and just take him away, I'm like, that's a hard one.
I would not
They
doubt.
got some good sleeves up there. They're good cards up their sleeves, man.
I would not doubt if someone looked at this guy and went, we have to bring him back as the Joker at the end of the season, and we'll figure out something because he's too good. He's perfect.
My other problem is, man, I really want Bruce to man up finally. We've done long enough of him being a little kitty.
He did in this episode.
I want to man up, but I want him to get mad. I want him to actually, start being Bruce. Start little seeds of Batman. He's a little too wimpy still, I think.
He's going to get there.
I think he has a little bit of seeds, man. Just give me something.
He's going to get
Have
there.
him punch out somebody.
He's going to get there.
Please.
Alfred was badass, though.
Alfred was badass.
He was trying to steal Gordon's wife, dude. Or not wife yet. Or in real life, maybe.
Leslie Tompkins.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah, he was sitting on Leslie Tompkins the whole episode.
Making Bruce really uncomfortable. What are you doing, Alfred?
Well, I liked his exchange at the end of the episode after he sees Jim.
He's like, Did you know?
That was cute.
So before we go on to some questions here, I did have let's do two things. First, let's thank all sorts of great people on Patreon. Let me do that first. Let me thank. It's the end of the month, so we have a lot of people to thank. It's the beginning of the month, so we have a lot of people to thank that donated to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/comic conspiracy. You can donate some money to help us for the run the show, and we thank everyone that does, and especially some top tier guys like our good friend Albert Soy. He has that app Plant Everywhere, so go download that on iTunes. Hopefully that's coming to your iPhone. Hopefully that's coming to Android soon. Albert will be joining me in Disneyland for the Halloween party with his family, so I'm very excited for that.
Where I'm painting your faces purple and green.
You're not painting my face.
Yes.
And we cannot forget Jody Lawson and Canon, the Triad Comics Anthology at triadcomicsstudios.com. Go check out their comics. They have some really good stuff. I got a bunch of thank you reward backers here. We got to thank all these guys real quick. Let's get on the list here. Some longtime backers for our show here. Jeff Judkins, Armando Testani, Ivan Leskanik, Aaron Wright. And if I'm pronouncing your name wrong every single month, let me know.
It's Ryan Higgins' fault.
Aaron Wright, Jason Thomas, Ocularis. That's a great name. Michael Moore. The joke isn't funny anymore, he says. Christopher Eblisic. Matthew Schnapp, Santiago Mendez, Sloan, just Sloan. Of course, our good friend Peter Parker over at the Daily Bugle, Father Dante, Don Kilson, Mike Coonrad, Mark Long, Edgar Moreno, Kevin Nguyen, Christopher Stone, Wesley Thon, Scott, Cross X Hunters, and now a little shout out there to the L Talk podcast, Mike Campbell. David Safar backing us from the Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension there. Christopher bringing the noise. He's always on the Geek Box with us. Good guys. Here, Joshua Redding, Alex McHale, Sam Shea, and Joel Jimenez. Thank you guys all very, very, very much for your support, and everyone that donates to us on Patreon. Yay. If you want to have your name read, or a little shout out for your app, your comic, your website, your basically anything, patreon.com/comic conspiracy. Yay. There you go. But we have something. We have something cool.
We
haven't done enough of these recently.
Yes.
We have giveaway we're going to do in this podcast.
But why? Why? Say why? Why? Because tonight,
as we record, we are missing the premiere of The Flash Season 2. I've been very good at trying to stay off the internet and no spoilers. So,
and here's what I tell you everything. No, I'm kidding.
No. We'll be back next week to talk all about Flash and Arrow season premieres.
Jesus Christ, the homework is just getting more and more and more.
Welcome to podcasting. Yeah. We have 3 different things that we're going to be giving away this week.
Sweet.
We have...
Number 1.
We have 2 Star Labs sweaters that we're going to be giving away.
Are they hooded sweaters or regular sweaters?
No, just regular sweaters.
It's these like the one he's wearing when he's running in Star Labs.
These are just like the kind of the dark blue, navy blue Star Laboratory shirt. One is a large. I believe one's an extra large. Yeah, one's a large, one's an extra large. So these are sweaters.
And Caitlin hugged those sweaters, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm keeping them in that case.
I want to be on that list for that drawing, by the way.
We're giving away those, but we're also going to give away a third prize, which is the Flash Season 2 promo poster.
They finally gave you one?
That is
super awesome.
That is super awesome.
Jealous.
That is the Flash of Two Worlds.
I like the cover, yeah?
Cover, right.
Oh,
remake.
That's so good.
So
it's amazing.
With Barry on one side and...
I was dying to get the promo poster for the first season, and I was like, ask him, give us the one where he's like running down the street.
Yeah.
Dude, that's such a cool poster.
Yeah, I'd love to get some more of these guys, so I'm going to try. If we do, maybe we'll give some more in the podcast. But yeah, this is the Flash of Two Worlds TV promo poster for Season 2 official
It's
poster.
Barry Allen on one side and Jay Garrick on the other.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is
Eobot Thorne has kissed this poster, correct?
Maybe. So what you have to do, shoot us an email. Make sure the email has your mailing address in it. International orders are very tough for the sweaters, but I can do it for the poster. I can do an international order for the poster. The shipping outside the U.S. is extraordinarily expensive these days. So I will,
the contest for the sweaters only applies to America. The contest for the poster applies to everyone.
But everyone can send their stuff in. We're going to pick 3 winners. If you please tell us large or extra large on the sweater so we know which one you want.
Are you going to go any money more in the email?
We'll just pick them. I'll just pick randomly. You need to email The Comic Conspiracy, TheComicConspiracy, The Comic Conspiracy at geekbox.net. And you can also send us questions there and anything, but specifically for this contest.
And apparently Ryan will read it within 30 seconds.
I might.
He will read it within 30 seconds, but he won't read it on air for 6 months.
Very good.
It'll redirect to the one he reads it from.
But you need to make sure in the subject line you put the word contest somewhere in the line. Just anywhere in the subject. Just contest.
Flash Season 2 contest.
You could put whatever you want.
Or Superman's penis. He will read that too.
If it says Superman's penis contest, that's all I need. Make sure the comic conspiracy at geekbox.net.
I just want a list of all the random contest names that we're going to get from this subject
You can put
line.
anything you want as long as the phrase contest is in the subject, because that will forward to my proper folder where I will be picking the winners from. So that's the thing. That'll make it very easy for me.
So figure out something that's going to just entertain Ryan just from the subject, and then he's more likely to pick you.
Make sure it has your mailing
say
address.
Speedball. Hashtag say, what's the other one? What's the other one? Nova. Yeah,
Firestar.
thank you.
Make sure it has your mailing address. Make sure it has your size, whether you want the large or extra large. And if you're international, we will put you in for the poster as well. So good luck. We'll announce some winners next week. Or maybe we won't even announce them. Maybe we'll just contact the winners. So I have no idea what we're going to do. But there you go. So we're going to give this stuff away. And I'm actually have something we're going to give away next week as well. So we're going to try to do a few more of these contests. Not unless I get something this week. But no. It's an Avengers book. But we'll deal with that next week. Ooh, look for that. Marvel fans. Ooh. Bryce is not allowed to enter. Sorry, Bryce.
He's not gonna...
if it was an X-Men book, I'd just give it to him. So... so we're gonna do that, and let's hit up. I got tons of questions. We're running a little long, but
we're not done. I thought we were like closing up right now.
Almost done. Done.
Fuck it. Questions, bring it on.
Got a couple questions here. We got one from Mitchell. That's Bryce.
Mitch.
I have to say,
Brock's
the
buddy.
artwork inside the Iron Man is quite good too.
Yeah,
I've been looking through these as we've been talking here. I've been digging out the interior art quite a bit on all the 4 books.
Yeah, very strong start. So. Mitchell says, what is the best Batman cartoon series? My son wants to watch one, so I want to get him a good one.
There's no contest in this question.
You want the Batman animated series?
Yeah. Well, I was going to do Drummel and have Charlie do it. That's his show, man.
The Batman.
And they have they're coming out with
that Batman is a different. That's the one that came after.
I know. I was joking.
They're coming out with
that was not bad though. Towards the end.
The soft covers for the kids' comic books for it. So that's also a way to get your kids reading too, because they have those ones that are.
The Batman Adventures.
They just announced a new Justice League cartoon on Cartoon Network.
I was going to talk about that. They didn't actually. I mean, it's like a leaked. We don't know what the deal is.
Yeah,
but I want to find out more info before.
I want more Justice League Unlimited, please.
But talk of a new Justice League cartoon is
Justice League Unlimited is coming to Blu-ray. That's been confirmed.
Yeah,
I know that's good.
Definitely Batman the Animated Series.
The whole thing.
Don't listen to Kenzo. Beware the Batman is terrible. Sorry, Kenzo.
The Brave and the Bold stuff was pretty good.
Brave and the Bold is fantastic. In fact, if your kid's very young, Brave and the Bold's probably the better bet.
Especially the Birds of Prey episode.
Well, that's not available here.
Oh,
well, it is on the DVD.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best episode to play your kids.
That's a great episode.
You will be very entertained.
I think it went under like special features.
Did it really?
It's there.
Huh. That's funny. Got a question from Scott. He asks, how does Frank Miller keep getting work? People buy his books.
People like Superman dicks.
That's how.
I tell you why, because Frank Miller is a fucking legend.
You're correct.
Exactly.
You're correct.
There's a certain reality in comic books that it doesn't matter how bad a writer or artist gets, if they have a following, that following will continue.
Yeah.
Yep, they used to have John Byrne's Faithful 50,000. Now it's John Byrne's Faithful 50. But, everyone's got their fan base.
We got that the Romita Jr. stuff.
Dude, I like John Byrne's old stuff, man. He was so fucking good.
It used to be 50,000 people would buy anything John Byrne does. That number has dwindled in recent years. It used to be the 5,000.
It's more than 50.
Then 500. Now it's about 50. So
his classic stuff I love, 50. Though. I adore his classic stuff, man.
We got one from Hiram. He says, did Charlie ever get to read Walking Dead issue 100?
Yes, I did.
You did?
I finally sat down.
And you didn't hang yourself?
No, I didn't hang myself.
Okay. And you had never been spoiled?
I managed to make it through unspoiled until I finally cracked open my hardcover and read it.
That's incredible.
No.
Wait, what happens?
No spoilers.
Jesus. No, I really don't know.
We'll tell you after.
No, we've already spoiled it like twice on this thing.
Way,
and people have, like,
we did?
Yeah,
okay.
People have tweeted me going, F you guys for spoiling.
Okay, given where they are in the show compared to the comic, we do not want to say anything right now.
Exactly.
Yeah. Bad shit may be happening this season. I mean, bad shit happens every season. But I didn't finish talking about Fear the Walking Dead. Remind me next week to talk about that because we'll have the first episode of Walking Dead to talk about too.
Yes,
that ended.
We'll
very
do
well.
a double.
Well, yeah, we definitely will. Hiram also asks, did Bryce ever get his free week of comics due to Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch not being in the Inhumans? Moving on. Jay asks, opinions on any Valiant comics. Do you believe Valiant has an opportunity to gain lots of fans because of the situation at Marvel and DC? Brock's a big fan of Valiant.
Yeah, I've been reading a majority of their stuff. Exo Manowar has just been a really solid book overall. Bloodshot has been really good, and since Jeff Lemire's picked up the Bloodshot Reborn stuff, it's been even better. Ninjax, however you want to say it, it's really, really cool. Kind of spy seeing how he came about and what he's doing. No, overall, I mean, they're really solid titles. You know, they have the superhero feel. But they also kind of have that grounded sort of indie, not connected to any really big universe. They're kind of their own thing. Yeah. But I mean, I would recommend Exo is probably a good place to start with it. Maybe check out Harbinger or Bloodshot.
I haven't read it recently, but when Eternal Warrior started, it was really good, and I know they have a big push going around that right now.
Yeah, Eternal Warrior. It's just miniseries on that one, so it's really nice, quick stories. But anything kind of tied around like Unity, Exo Manowar, like anything tied together within that group is. I mean, I would say it's pretty decent shot, or give it a shot. But it's
okay. Yeah. Okay, next year I'll catch up.
Yeah, next year.
That will be
they
my
just
New
had
Year's
the big
resolution.
Valiant trade sale.
I'm still on that, Charlie.
Hardcovers?
No.
Just
they only have a couple
That's his first
hardcovers.
question. Wait, was it hardcovers?
It was the big
digital?
huge thing. No, it's the order here.
Well, either way, once the hardcovers make it into that kind of thing,
Or
then
you
I'm
borrow
doomed.
mine.
I'll just start buying them.
Okay.
I'll just start making Ryan order them and then buy them off the shelf.
Nice.
So,
who has another question?
I got a question here from generic protagonist. He's also an egg on Twitter. Stop that. Don't be an egg. Be a real man. Be a real person. He asks, this is the question we were talking about earlier, considering how big this week is, do you still think Marvel shouldn't have staggered all the number ones? I still think they shouldn't have. I think they should have done...
No, they should have done a line-wide relaunch 1 month, get everything out, make it a consistent amount of books every week like DC did, because then we have, the excitement is still there, because the excitement is going to die off within a month or two.
This is what happened
So
with...
what would you have done if they hadn't staggered at this point?
If it was 15 books like this a week...
You did it.
Brought out the tables, but I did it with New 52 because they had one cover. Some of them had a second cover. Marvel has 8 to 10 plus covers on most of these books.
I think that's a big hindering in, especially them doing a line-wide thing, because all of these variants cause you to have to order weirdly, and
we basically do have 10 books coming out this week. It's just, or 15 books coming out this week. It's just there's only 5 different titles, but the variant covers are like different books. So
yeah, it's like when Star Wars #1 came out, and there was like 60 some odd variant covers.
Well,
for
that was
thing.
different because all the store exclusives, but. I think Marvel would have seen better sales on all these titles.
Now,
I could have sold more sets. There would have been a bigger excitement. I think they should.
I can get behind them possibly doing a 2-month launch where they are launching all of their new titles for 2 months,
30 and 30 or something,
right? Where they spread both of them out, so you start getting the number 2s for the first month in the second month, but that's okay because you're kind of still doing it. But that gives that limited amount of time, making pre-orders easy, making
based on what they kind of did with these number ones with sort of the double issues on some, I could totally see them doing 1 month of number ones and then splitting some of those into 2 separate titles for the issue 2s.
Jesus.
Don't suggest that.
Just flip books. Great.
I got some big questions here from Stefano, but we'll try to answer them here quick.
Wait. We need to thank Stefano first.
We always thank Stefano.
No, but we need to thank him because he got us.
Oh, yeah. He was at the Rose City Comic-Con, I believe is what it's called.
Was it Rose City or Baltimore? Was it Rose City or Baltimore?
Well, Rose City was last
Baltimore.
week.
Yeah. So he was at Rose City Comic-Con. And he picked us up a couple prints. He picked me up a Donald Duck or Duck Family print that was pretty cool. And I know Brock, for you, he got you a Brock Sampson print from Venture Brothers. So,
which you handed to me and you were like, "That's," and I'm like, "I know who it is."
I don't have the card on me. I got to remember to bring it next week. The guy that did the art on these prints was really good. I stupidly left it at home. I have to bring this next week and talk about this guy's art because art's fantastic. So,
but thank you, Stefan.
Yeah, thank you very, very much. I will.
Your books are in the mail. I put it in today.
Yes.
You should have hunted down Jordan and Jess. They were both there.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Now, I will give him a warning on his package. There is something on top. Don't just pull out the stuffing and throw it away.
That rings there.
Yeah.
Got a question here. On the Comic Book Resources Mayo report, which is the guy that does all their sales chart stuff for Comic Book Resources, they recounted, and actually, if they do a podcast, I really need to listen to that. I didn't know they did a podcast. They recounted how creative teams don't really influence sales as much as people think. How much of a title sales are creative teams? If not much, what do you see as a larger factor for that?
I think at this store is a pretty big deal, though.
It depends on what the book is.
Well, I think
That is very true, because if it's a Gambino Nightwing book, I will just buy it.
Well, Marvel and DC, you have a little bit of swing. You have your top-tier creators that will drive books. Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo are absolutely selling Batman at this point. Batman will always sell, but they have doubled the sales because of the creative team. If you took those guys off, that book would fall in sales after a few months. Look at Green Lantern. It's a perfect example. John's Leaves. The book here is about a sixth of what it was at John's height. Yeah. That is absolutely because of the creative team. But most books sell regardless of what the creative team is. It causes a swing. It can, a little bit here and there. But
it also depends
the creative
on...
team is the juicer.
Yeah, it is.
They're all like at this level, and the good creative team juices them up to crazy heights, and then it goes away.
It can. Yep. I think it can.
I guess my take on this is you put a good creative team on a book, people are more likely to pick up the issue one. But the reality is you can put any creative team on a book, and if it's a really good, strong book, it will eventually drive the sales to that book.
It makes the creative team known, right? And I think it is kind of a chicken and egg thing, because the hype behind the book will move the book to people that don't know the creative team. You know, Chris Samney, to a lot of people, was no one prior to Daredevil. I was not really aware of him, but now I am. It wasn't because of the creative team when it started. It was because of the creative team was really good.
Well, I think it also depends on, again, maybe not like necessarily across the board, but individually store-wise, creative teams can push sales because of what the store is based around. Like, we're more DC-centric at the store, so a lot of times
less so these days, unfortunately. But if you look at like the independent stuff, it's totally creative-driven. You know, we have 5 stacks of Paper Girls by Brian K. Vaughan on the shelf because it's a Brian K. Vaughan book. There's no other creator I would do that with. It's just because people buy Saga. People buy the hell out of those books.
Did I tell you I wanted that book? Do you remember? Did I read something on the internet and made me want to?
I mean, that was at Image Expo. We talked about it. That's when they announced it. So
makes me wonder if I actually want to pick that book up now.
I'm sure it'll be worth $150 in a year.
I'm sure I'll lose it by then.
So, Old Man Logan would not have sold the numbers it did if Brian Michael Bendis wasn't writing it. There's just no doubt about it.
No, Brian Michael Bendis added to what it was selling. Old Man Logan would have sold whatever.
Well, it would have sold well.
It would have sold well.
But if you look at, I think you look at Civil War, you look at Age of Apocalypse, those books would have sold better with stronger creative teams. I'm not saying the creative teams in either of them are bad, but I'm saying
but we also talked about if they had launched earlier. Like, there's a lot of factors in there.
Those are different.
I think if you had, like, take Civil War, for instance, if you had Bendis on that book, but it launched when it did, I think you would have seen an uptick, but I don't think you would have seen
not huge
as large an uptick as if they had just put out the book
right
when it made more sense.
Well, because I could sell shit like Years of Future Past, and I still sold like 30 copies an issue on that, and that book is ass left and right. But it sold because it's part of a big event because of the hype behind it, right? So, whatever. I mean, this is a question that go on forever, but I love talking about this stuff because I love sales chart stuff.
So you need to look up a podcast is basically what
I do need to look up this. I need to find this.
Let's move on to another question.
He also asks if the comic book market is genuinely diversifying your readership, which I believe it is. Should publishers rethink their minimum numbers for sustaining a monthly title? And I absolutely believe that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe that too because you keep ordering only 3 books of Toby books.
Well,
I have to rub it in him whenever I can, dude.
I don't know. I kind of have a odd take on this just because I think given where the price point is and that kind of stuff, I would love to see more of these sort of... It's sort of like this catch-22 where I kind of feel like there should be if we can sell this amount, it should be digital. If we can sell this amount, it should be print. If we can sell this amount, like, I kind of feel like there's a weird, I would not be opposed to certain books being seen as, okay, this is digital, and then we'll put out nice trades for it or nice hardcovers for it when you reach a certain amount. So I guess that's my way of saying, yes, I think more small numbers should stay in print. They just need to change their model to support that a little bit better.
I agree with digital and, with digital out there and also with kind of, if you're going to stick with a story and you're going to stick with something, let the creative team tell the story, right? It can be something that, yes, you kind of have this general 6, 8, 10 issues is kind of that's what we're going to do with your run. This is the amount of time you have to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if the book is doing well, then yeah, keep it going. If it's not so much, let them at least finish telling their story.
Well, I think these books need to be paid. I think they need to pay these creators in some sort of sales scale because you have to assume a book like Prez is not going to sell 20,000 copies. It probably isn't going to sell 10,000. Hopefully it sells 8,000 to 9,000, which is sort of like the bottomest of the bottom that DC will publish. And even then it's canceled. Obviously, you don't want these people to work for nothing, but if the books are only selling that much, maybe there's some way that they can offset that going, hey, guys, look, it's not selling a ton, but we like the book. We want to keep it going. You still get royalties in the trades. The pay isn't as high because the book isn't selling a lot. I mean, maybe they do some form of this already. And I don't want these guys to not get paid well. I want them to be paid well, absolutely. But if it's 10,000, you get paid maybe an extra, a little bit more. If it's 20,000, if it's 15,000, you get paid a little more. If it's 20,000, you get a little bit more. If it's 25,000, it's a little bit more.
Well, it's back end stuff. Like you kind of have your your flat rate kind of going to keep you survive, right? Because I want these guys to be able to eat and live and stuff.
But it would allow creators on lower end titles to still be getting work, even though the book isn't selling as much. I figured there has to be a way.
I would love to also see in terms of some of that, especially after the book's been out a while. Like if they get to say issue 6 of Prez and they're like going, okay, this is on the fence. Why don't we move the first issue to free on Comixology and see if that will bring up the I'd like to see a little more experimentation there to try and.
I think they do that stuff too occasionally.
We have to talk about Prez when the first arc is done by the
It's a great book.
The big Marvel and DC do not do it like Image or some of the other independent companies do it, where the first trade comes out or like the first issue of the next arc comes out, and normally that first. Well, I don't know if Image does it anymore. They did this for a while, but that first issue after that first trade was out was free. Like, you could download the first issue, read it, and see if you were interested. Because that's kind of what you do. Because, again, you have multiple avenues of revenue for these books that are coming in. You have single issues, you have digital, you have trade.
In terms of, like, Marvel and DC, Marvel did that huge push, so they're kind of a different thing. But in terms of DC, most of the stuff I see under their, like, free issues are what I would call sort of safe books.
Yeah.
It's always like, we're going to give you the first issue of the John's Green Lantern run or stuff that sells well in general by itself. It's not like this book that we want to try and boost sales on, we're going to do this with. It's all...
I think their digital content for starting people out anywhere needs to increase. Yeah. Right? It can't just be like Charlie said. The one that's going to sell, the first issue of John's Green Lantern run, or the first issue of... his whatever. Like, you have to kind of, like, his Flash run, they could do the first issue for free. What they need to do is they need to, like, get this for, Gotham by Midnight. First issue's free. Gotham Academy, first, like, because the trades have already come out. You need to. Some people aren't all up on when things are coming out. Something they might not get into it till 4 months in.
Theory, if you put it out when the first trade's already out, hopefully you'll convert some of those people who want to keep reading it to instantly buy the trade and then start buying the single issues.
Yeah.
I just would like to see a little more effort put into rather than just, we're just going to cancel the book. I'd rather see, what can we do to try and stabilize this to the point where it can get finished out and have it make sense.
And again, that kind of leads back to what I was saying about, don't put the creators under this "you're canceled" kind of thing. It's like if they go in knowing that they're going to be able to tell their story, there's not this stress about the book getting canceled based on numbers. They're paid a flat rate, and then if the book does well, they get paid on a better scale.
I mean, they have some form of that, but it's at the higher end. It's not at the low end. So there's got to. I figure there's a way to make it work because Image can make it work, and IDW and Oni and Boom. So Marvel and DC need to figure it out too. But I don't know. We got 5 questions here, but these are all quick hits. We're going to do these really fast.
Quick hits.
Don't talk about it. Well, don't talk about it much. Give me an answer quickly. This is from Talon. Don't kill me in the night. Says, what's your favorite creator-owned series? I'm going to have to go with the book that I've been reading at this point. Really is long or longer than anything current, especially if you count books that restart or whatever. And that would be Jolly R. Blackburn's Knights of the Dinner Table. I love that book. I never think that it's my favorite comic until I realize I've read like every issue. So obviously I must love this book. And I do love this book. It's one of the first things I read every time a new issue comes out.
I'm actually semi-surprised by that, Ryan Higgins.
I've talked about it before, and it's not. And I know Charlie likes it too.
Yeah, I'm still looking at stuff like the Usagi and be like, why can't I have a phone book of Knights of the Dinner Table?
Oh God, if only. I don't get it. Brock, got a favorite creator-owned series? Preacher and Vertigo stuff, I would say mostly counts too.
I'm taking Velvet.
Okay.
Really? Wow. Okay. Velvet's good.
Out of all the books you read,
I thought you'd say Usagi, actually.
No, right now it's Velvet.
Wow. Okay.
out of all the books you read,
That's shocking.
Of creator-owned, it is Velvet right now.
Cool. Yeah, I totally thought you would have said Usagi. I know that's one of your favorites.
Oh, I love Usagi, but Usagi's like comfort food for me, where like Velvet...
That's what Knights of the Dinner Table is. It's like the thing I've been doing forever, so...
For me, it's kind of just a toss-up. The Saga, Southern Bastards, Birthright, Manifest Destiny, I guess, would probably be on there.
And we know Toby's Naruto, so we'll move on.
I was going to say if that counts, yeah.
What's your favorite creator-owned series? The Naruto?
No, I was going to say if that counts, yeah.
Sure. He owns it. I think it's not like...
I don't know if they work the same
Do they work with Shonen? Do they own? Does Shonen Jump actually own it? I don't know how that...
I'm not sure how it works, actually.
I don't know how that works either.
Yeah, that'd be actually something good to investigate.
I thought this was a quick answer so we could get through 5 questions.
Next question.
The next question from Alex is, what's the over-under on Marvel coming out with a major crossover?
Actually, I'm wrong. Slam dunk.
Okay, there you go. Crossover, a big event after Secret Wars. 100%. It's called Civil War 2. It's called Civil War 2. We talked about this, and apparently I announced it.
Your crossover issues are issues 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
So there you go. Maybe the best tweet I've received all day, because this would make Bryce laugh. This is from Potbelly Gamers on Twitter. They ask, do you think this Marvel relaunch will take on the same buzz as DC's did? Other than you guys, it feels like no one is interested. I find that amazingly hilarious that we're the podcast of people actually interested in the new Marvel books.
I think we're excited because of the books that these creative teams are on.
We're excited because it's not Secret Wars.
Yeah, it's not Secret Wars too.
I'm excited because it will just keep the Bryce Briefleys going for...
Jeez. I have talked with people who know people, and Buzz is a little low on this stuff for Marvel.
It's a little low because, the second that they started pushing Secret Wars back and they said, we're spreading these out over 6 months, everybody was like, whatever.
I really want it to succeed, not just because I want to stay in business. I want there to be really good Marvel comics, and they have the potential for some of these books to be fantastic. Well, I really hope it clicks.
Well, I think part of the issue is a lot of people, especially people who've been reading Marvel for a while, you look at getting these new titles and you're like, it's
2 months down, it's just gonna have a new number one.
Yeah,
That's
it's like
the problem.
Captain America is now on what volume?
Like 20. Yeah, I mean, people roll their eyes when I said they're relaunching all the titles again.
I mean, I asked you this question because I know
where there was excitement for the New 52.
I asked you this question earlier. I asked you, what was the last Marvel book you bought, as in like Marvel trade you bought? And you kind of blanked, going, I don't really know, because
I don't personally buy too many Marvel comics anymore.
Cap.
I like a lot of them and I read them, but I don't feel the need to have them in my collection.
Yeah, but looking at the Star Wars ones that are coming out for Vader and Star Wars, the volume ones that are coming out tomorrow, they're $20 soft covers for 6 issues.
Yep,
it's like
cheaper than the comics.
Yeah,
that's fair, dude. Have you seen some of the other prices?
But you're not getting the digital versions.
I don't care, dude.
None of the trades have digital versions.
Yeah, to me, it's just.
But you
I'm
did
waiting
in
for
the
the nice
comics.
hardcovers. That's all.
Yeah, no, like it for me too. Like I'm not buying single issues.
I'm fine when the trade is cheaper on the individual issue scale, because there's a lot of trades that were actually more expensive than the individual comics.
Prefer the trades to be cheaper.
So I'm fine with this.
Yeah, but for me, it's like Charlie said, I'm waiting for hardcover. I'm not even going to look at the soft covers. But again, like the last Marvel thing I bought, besides the Annihilation Omnibus stuff, was the Ant-Man trade, and that was even a little overpriced.
All right, you got 2 from Scott Zanow, Cross X Hunter. First one is, Kenza wanted me to ask him a question, but he forgot it. But then he remembers it later, so I'll get to that in a second. But his question is, will the fathers on the podcast watch the DC Girls web series, animated series?
My good friend actually works on that show.
With their children. So I watched the first episode, if you will. Actually, I gotta watch all the Vixen ones now that they're out. So I saw the first DC Girls short. It's cute. It's fun. I mean, not something I particularly would go out of my way to watch. But Brock, with a daughter, would you watch this with her?
Or I didn't even know
Charlie
this was coming out.
With
so
boys, would you think?
Yeah, make the boys watch it. I'll make them watch it.
I sit down and I put all sorts of random stuff on for my kids.
I mean, do you think this is something that you guys would actually watch with your kids? Like, would you put this on for them?
I mean, I check it out first to see if it's something that they would want to watch. Yeah. I mean, my kids love Teen Titans Go to the point where
they'll like this.
Where my mom thinks that they're being violent because they're watching Teen Titans Go, and I'm like, no, they're being violent and yelling at each other because nobody's telling them to stop and being firm with them. But that's beside the point.
The answer is yes. It's comic related. It's cartoons. I will put it on for my kids.
Okay.
Cross-Sex Hunter then remembered Kenzo's question.
My Comic-Con roommate worked on that, actually.
Oh, that's the one from... Yeah. They worked on a few
she's
of the other
been
stuff.
slowly telling me about it.
Cool.
It
looks good.
While not telling me about it. It's like, I'm working on something you might be interested in, and I kind of get a clue.
It could be a very big... I mean, merch-wise, it could be very big.
I'm very happy for it, because I think it's the right thing for little girls. I think princesses are out and superheroes are in. It's about damn time.
Yeah. I'm very excited. He then remembers Kenzo's question. And Kenzo, get on Twitter, Kenzo. Come on, what's wrong with you? Or
he
you can
likes
join
to hide in the forum.
Or you can join the Facebook group at the Comic Conspiracy.
He would shake it
Geekbox.
all up.
Oh, he would.
That'd be great.
He wants to know.
Day.
He wants to know if we've heard the gospel that is One Punch Man. And have you read? Have you seen One Punch Man? I'm aware of it.
I'm aware of it. I know of it.
Yeah.
I've not watched it yet. Although, to be fair, I haven't watched anything new in about 10 years.
Yeah.
So
I'm aware.
Personal.
It's an animes. It looks amazing. It's on the list. Yes, Kenzo.
I have to be honest. The art creeps me out a little bit.
It's weird.
Yeah, it creeps me out.
But it looks cool.
I like things a little more happy looking.
Kenzo's going to harass me because I never have time for anything. Everything goes on this list. My list goes back
Kenzo
decades.
will harass me too. He'll harass everybody.
You do realize Kenzo's an old school internet troll, right? I mean, he just is on forums.
I does that, but it's like... Some people have the ability to, like, Charlie is one of those, like, multitaskers. He's, like, read, 9 comics while we've been doing this podcast. I do not have that ability. I can barely do one thing at a time, let alone, like, watch a TV show and paint a fucking Gundam kit and watch an anime and play Dota at the same time that I'm posting on the Geekbox forums. I can do that. Kenzo can. Like, it just doesn't work. I don't have that type of mentality. I never have. So... it looks amazing. I'll probably never watch it. I want to.
Need to learn my method, which is
never
sleep
finish
watch
anything.
TV.
Oh,
yeah, it's binge watch as you're sleeping.
I like fast forward through my TiVo and then I fall asleep the second I hit play and I wake up at the next commercial break. That's what I always do. So
Jeez.
I do the rewind. I wake up and go, fuck, I missed it.
at the
Go
rewind,
back. Fuck, I missed it again. Rewind. Fuck, I missed it again.
I do that
I would
too.
actually like to see the statistics on that. Like,
that
how
too.
many people who watch stuff off of their TiVo end up having to rewind it?
Well, I
and
don't
then
have
watch it
TiVo.
again?
I watch it on the apps, which is worse because I have to watch the same
yeah.
goddamn commercials over and over and over.
If
I
I
just
have
have
one complaint about on demand, they seriously need to change up the ads in that because it's the same boring shit every time.
All right, let's wrap up here. We're way over time here. So hope you guys enjoyed a nice long episode.
That's what she said.
Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Superman's dick.
Geekbox.net. That's where you can find all our previous episodes, as well as iTunes. Please rate and review us on there. Forums at Geekbox.net, in the Geekbox and Comic Conspiracy Facebook group. Go on there and talk to all of us, including Kenzo. Digital.
Oh, we have to force him now.
Digital. No, he's on the forums only. Digital.comicsconspiracy.biz. That is where you can buy all your digital comics from us. Go buy some. They always have amazing sales. And it is connected to your Comixology account, so it's all the same. Patreon.com
They're doing the Flash and Arrow sale right now.
Yeah, I
Let's
get
get to the 12th. There's some really good trades on there that people can pick up.
Yeah, I got to pimp that. Patreon.com/comic.
Just did.
I mean, like in other places. Patreon.com/comic conspiracy. Go donate to the podcast on there. Help us pay for our hosting and everything. ConspiratorBrock.com. That's Brock's video pull list and blog. The Infinite Long Box podcast and the Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension podcast. Those are Charlie's podcasts about comic books and Doctor Who, much like this podcast apparently this week. On Twitter, I'm Ryan Higgins Ryan. Brock is Brock Sager. Bryce, who's going to be out for a few weeks, but I think he's going to be back in a couple, is Larson Bryce. Toby is Toby XI. Charlie's Insanity in Chaos. Go add all of us, please. The Geekbox, Comedy Button, Good Job Brain, and the Yellow Talk podcast, as well as Manga Machinations. Those are all the podcasts on our little network. Make sure to check those guys out. And that is it. We will see you all next week. Don't forget to enter the contest. Mm-hmm. We'll pick some winners for that
Contest
next
in
week.
the subject line. Make it an interesting one.
Got to do it. And that's it. We'll see you guys next week.